Up until a few months ago, this truck sitting behind me was being used as decoration in front of a restaurant. So we bought it, brought it home, and got it running. Now it's time to concentrate on getting it driving and looking more like a truck that turns heads for all the right reasons. And I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of the rusted piece of junk I asked Santa to bring me this Christmas. And I'll tell you a secret, it must have been really good because he brought it.
Well, this is what we're dealing with here. There's a car in there. This might be the most buried car that I've ever tried to revive. So the reason we're doing this is because Christina has loved this car from the first second she saw an inch of the nose. I mean, we didn't even know what it was. We thought it might be a Torino, and it turns out we were right. What do you think?
Yes, and he's correct. I literally saw like this one corner sticking out, and I waited patiently until we could get through here with the leaves gone, and it's today, and I love it.
So finally you got the front wheels figured out, front wheels and tires for the tow truck. What I ended up going with is I got rid of the 16.5s that were on it, impossible to get tires for, and I went with Ford 16s from the 70s and 80s. They're still dually wheels, but they're 16-inch. And the tire size I went with was, or is, let's see, where are we here? 215/70/16. It's not the exact tire I wanted, but it's a good compromise. It's not so big it's going to hit the fenders. A little bit smaller than I would have liked, but as you can see, the clearance is good. The important things about these Ford wheels is they don't hit the tie rod. The Chevy wheels do. If you go with, pardon the wind, it's crazy today. If you go with Chevy dually wheels from the 80s, they're going to hit the tie rod end. They're just too deep. So Ford's the way to go. 8 by 6.5, 16-inch. And I like how they look. In the back, I'm probably going to do the same with the Ford wheels, because these wheels are split rim. Can't really tell from looking at this one. So I'll probably go with the same 16-inch dualies in the back from Ford, but taller. I'll probably go with a size similar to what I have on this F-250, which is a bit taller. These are 215/85/16. So I'll probably go with these on the back. I just need to find a few more. I think finally now it's going to be movable. Because on each side we got one of these rear tires that holds a semblance of air, so I think it's going to be movable after this. I have a little bit of a dilemma here when trying to remove this wheel. Both this bolt and this bolt have stripped inside, and that's going to make removal pretty difficult. I tried heating them before they stripped and it didn't work, so they're super tight. They're going to have to be cut. I'd love to use an oxyacetylene torch on these and just cut them right off, because the stud obviously is junk, but I can't because I don't have one. So I'm going to have to use more manual means to get these off. Okay, that's done. That was no fun. Like I say, the studs are already ruined, so I just ruined them further. But now the wheels should come off. I'm working on getting the drum off, because these are just not going to work. These lug bolts are just loosened up. I noticed this here. That doesn't look factory to me. It looks like maybe this thing was dragged on the brake drum. I don't know, that's a guess. I don't know why this would be ground down like that.
Be interesting to see what you see when you get that off.
Yeah, It's got brakes in it. I can feel that the shoes are holding the rim back, so it hasn't been disassembled.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows what's in there.
How is that?
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
It's really loud. Yeah, so there's that little black area right there.
Oh yeah.
That's every time you hit it, more falls out.
Gonna be a lot of that.
But it's not rusty.
It looks like rust and brakes.
Getting a little creative. Did you get it?
Yep.
You should go woohoo.
Woo!
Really? I think this
Okay.
was more satisfying getting this off than a will it run
So
because it was so hard.
Here's why it was so hard. This was completely stuck to there, and it's a riveted pad. So we literally had to pull it off the rivets.
Is
See
that a
the
nail
rivets?
right there?
No, that's a piece of the
Oh, okay.
shoe.
Yeah.
See the rivets?
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, goodness, that was a difficult little
But
thing.
we didn't break anything except for the pin that we cut, which is easy to
I don't know
replace.
how.
And see, these are the things that we need to
Replace.
replace.
Uh-huh. Wow.
These studs have stripped in here for whatever reason. See that?
Oh, yeah.
It's all stripped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one appears to be
Kind of wobbly.
broken.
It's not. It doesn't look like the shape it should.
Yeah, this is very weird how this is in here, but we're gonna have to buy some new studs, like 4 or 5 new studs.
Well, I think we'll probably need more than that when we get to the other side.
Let's take a look in here.
Look how bad that was.
It's very typical, right?
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's what we expected to see out of that Dodge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is.
you can't be do the other way too.
But there's only one. I was not sure if there'd be more than one brake cylinder in here. There's only one. Yeah. Yeah, that's shot. It's too bad because these pads were good. But now we need to replace
Well,
both pads, about 4 or 5 studs. And
here's
the brake
what
cylinder.
I'm just gonna quote you. When it comes to brakes, you don't want to mess around. So just replace pretty much everything. You've said that so many
Hey,
times.
check this out. Now it moves because now that the brake is free.
Mm.
And not too much play. You know, more than I'd like, but for something this old, not too bad.
Well,
It's not posy.
yeah. I thought it was kind of before pausey, but I don't know. That's something we need to look up. Be interesting to know.
Yeah. All right, the new studs have arrived. Let's make sure they're the right ones. Yeah, they look it. So I'm going to have to clean up back here. These need to be welded in because the splines here are completely stripped out. In fact, this one was already welded in and the weld broke. So I'm going to clean these out. I've already started on it. I've got both a wire wheel and a grinding wheel on a drill. And I'm having to use both because it's tough to get in here, and of course it's very, very dirty. You can see the remains of the old weld there. This one had no weld on it, so I'm not sure what happened there. And you can see this one's still welded. That one, the weld is loose, but it's still welded. So I got to redo all those. So I'm going to get cracking cleaning this up. This is really tight now. So I don't think I'm going to have any more trouble with that one. I've got a couple more to do and this will be done. By the way, the welder I'm using today is this little guy, probably about 14 inches deep and about 6 inches wide. It's a Rylon Arc 160 GS and it runs off 120 and 220. It's super basic, but it does exactly what I needed to do today. So if you're looking for a super intro welder, I would recommend this one. It's been working for me. It's a stick welder, so if you want to learn stick welding, this is a good one. Or if you are an accomplished stick welder, you probably have one much better than this, but this one's super portable. And because it runs off 120, I can actually bring this to a site if I need to do any welding. So I'm super happy with this thing. If you're looking for an intro stick welder, check this one out. Okay, I've got the outer rim on. This is a Ford rim, Ford 16, and that's pretty much where it's going to sit, which is real close to the original, how the original fits. It's like right in line with this, which is very similar to the other side that has the Chevy split rims on it. So I think these Ford rims are going to work out. At least the outer one will. The inner one, not sure what I'm going to do about the inner one yet, because these Ford rims hit the drum, or the drum backing plate I should say. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do about that, but at least with this one I'll be able to get this thing moving, which is priority one right now. This thing's sitting in the mud, it's on an incline. I want to get this thing out of here. It's literally been here since it was unloaded off the trailer. And it slid, the trailer, the truck pulling the trailer slid backwards, so it ended up here. This was not intended. So hopefully we can get this thing out of here real soon. And I want to drive it, frankly. I am super motivated to get in this thing and start moving it. Next up, I'm going to hook the electrical system back up. If you recall from the Will It Run video, I disconnected the electrical system because I was concerned whether or not this was 6 volt or 12 volt, and I was using a 12 volt battery. What I found is all the bulbs are 12 volt. The flasher is also 12 volt. So this must have been converted at some time in its life. So I'm going to hook everything back up. I also determined that this truck is supposed to be negative ground. Chevys were never positive ground, although GMCs were. So I'm going to hook the coil back up as a negative ground, and from now on this truck's going to be negative ground. We are knocking stuff out one by one to get this thing driving. And the next to look at is the fuel system. The fuel pump is junk, so I'm going to run an electric, but I need to make sure that this tank is suitable to hold gas, and I have no idea. So let's take a look at what we have here. This cap fits nice and tight. It's pretty corroded in there, but not rusty. Let's see how it smells. Yeah, it stinks, but not terribly. I wonder how much gas is actually in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to scope the tank to see what condition it's in. Well, that's the inside, at least a piece of the inside. I'm going to move this around and see what else I got. Really clear picture on this. I hope that's only the one part of the tank. If the whole tank's like that, it's going to be a problem. It's rusty all over. See, there's the floor. I had one of those cheap swap meet electric fuel pumps hanging around. You can see it down there, that goldish colored can thing. It didn't work at all. Buyers beware. here's the fuel pump here. Unfortunately, the top is loose and there's no gasket, and unless the tank's empty, it's not pumping. If we find the tank is empty, hey, I'll make a gasket, and maybe we can prime this thing and get it to work. Let's see if this thing will fire so I can test the mechanical fuel pump. Gonna need more than that though to see if this pump is pumping. So let me fill up the bowl. This will let it run for a while. Certainly long enough to see if this fuel pump's gonna work. Wow. Talk about unexpected. I did not expect that to work. Nice. Well, I wasted my time with that electric pump, because this one's going to work just as is. Finally, I've got the tire on the back. For those of you wondering, I used Ford Bud wheels or dually wheels, and the tire size was 235, 85, 16. Seems to work really well. I need another lug nut. Seem to have lost one, but that's how it looks. I like it. It's no longer dual wheels because I simply couldn't find a Bud wheel that would fit over this drum right there. So that's an additional piece of learning that I need to do. Find out what kind of wheel will fit that. Possibly a GM wheel, not sure. The bolt circle's the same. Maybe it would be possible for it to fit, but I like it. I like it a lot. It looks good. So one more step towards getting this thing driving. Next up is the gear oil in the transmission. You can see a little moisture back here. So it's not empty, but it might have a small leak there. But I'm going to check it anyway, and if it's super low, I'm going to add some. But I'm not going to go crazy and add a bunch, because it's on such a hill, it'll likely all leak out, that seal. But there's the plug right there that I need to take out with an adjustable wrench. So let's see what's in here. Much to my surprise, there was plenty in it. I took the plug off and it immediately started coming out. So it's on a hill again, so it may not mean it's full, but it's close to it. So I didn't have to add any. And what's in there is good viscosity. It's a decent color. So for right now, I'm good. Transmission's good. Fluid's good anyway.
First thing I'm going to start on today is the inside of the cab. So I'm going to take everything out that's not attached and see what I have to work with. Should be interesting. Here's a look at everything I took out. And on closer inspection, I'm not sure that's the original emblem. And I found a replacement lens. Just might need that. All right, on to the other side. So I've been really excited to get everything out of here because I actually have a truck seat that I asked someone if I could have earlier this summer, and I think it just might fit in here. So I have been anxious to get everything out so I can measure. By the way, if any of you happen to know what these may have come out of, I'd really like to know. Put it down in the comments. Okay, so a few more things to get out, and then I'm going to be doing some measuring in here. Fingers crossed that that seat works. So I've gotten enough out that I can get a pretty decent measurement. And let's see, the seat that I was given, I measured it yesterday and it was around 56. So this is measuring around 54. Let me get this vacuumed out, and I'm going to bring that seat in, see what it looks like. You know, this is also going to give me a chance to see exactly what the floor, or lack of, looks like. Things I didn't see before, like this huge file that I missed, and there's a lot of big bolts over here as well. It's amazing once you start removing the mud and the dirt and the mouse houses, you see a lot of things that you didn't see earlier. Okay, almost there. So when I was cleaning out the side over there, I came across the spoon. And I thought to myself, I am going to need that to kind of loosen up some of the dirt around here. And sure enough, I did. It's come in pretty handy. Do you ever think that one day someone's going to buy a truck and they're going to, or a car, and they're going to be cleaning it, and then they're going to pop this off, or something like that? And then all this money is going to start falling out. Hey, a girl can dream. You ready to see the finished product? Let's go. Here we are. The floor is horrible, but I think we all knew that. Here, not so bad. I took a screwdriver and I hit it as hard as I could, even in these really rusty areas, and it did not go through. So what's underneath this seat we might be able to salvage, which would be fantastic. Now let's go see if that seat fits. So I don't mind telling you that I was way off. I think sometimes we envision things the way we want them to be in our minds, but when you actually come out to try and measure things, well, it doesn't add up. And there's the other side. So yeah, these are actually about 5 inches longer and in no way going to fit. And that is from an old Chevy car, not going to fit. But I do have not one but two, actually 3 backup plans. So we have these seats, which I found on the side of the row with a sign on them that said free, and told her to just stop immediately to pick them up. We have those 2 seats back there. I would not put the Mustang seats in there just out of respect. And then there's always option number 3. Option number 3 is I could spray the seats that came out of the truck with vinyl and fabric spray paint, which I have done on my 52 Chevy Lula. So you probably would have never known I'd done that, because until this moment, I had never released that secret. And yeah, that's always an option. So option 1, option 2, option 3. I don't know. We'll see how much time we have, and we'll see what we go with.
Well, it's time. This eye has to come off because I can't see driving this thing. So we're going to try some lacquer thinner. We have no idea what kind of paint this is. We're going to try some lacquer thinner and see what happens.
So it is coming off. It's just taking some time and some elbow grease.
Yeah, so it's not latex paint. It's some kind of oil-based paint, but it's coming off and it's revealing lots of cracks in the windshield.
Yeah, we have cracks there, over there on the passenger window. But the back window, if memory serves correct, that is crack free, so that's good.
Maybe I should just drive in reverse then.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. We're gonna drive the truck down to the house so we can give it a good cleaning with the power washer.
Started right up, so we're ready to go.
In case you didn't hear that, he
First
said,
time this thing has moved in who knows how long.
yeah, but it literally started right up, and it's been months since we had this started, so it's a good old truck.
It's going to be a huge challenge getting out of here. It is really on an incline.
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't hit anything. He did get that one spot. He said that was enough to see out of, so we'll see. Now sometimes I found when you try to move these things for the first time in a long time, they're not that keen to move at first. So we'll see what happens. Over that. Maybe we should have moved that block. Wow, that's impressive. Oh no, here it comes. It's gonna. Oh, good. Yeah.
It's just been so wet out here.
It has. It's rained for so many days.
And this back end isn't super heavy with nothing on it. Let me put the cinder blocks on it.
Oh my. Okay, so we put some cardboard all along the way. We'll see if that helps. Oh, he made it, I think. Yay! Are you gonna coast down?
Yeah. I'm just gonna coast and use the transmission.
Yeah, we haven't fixed the brakes yet, so. So look who is outside with us. Wow. probably worked 40 minutes
at least.
on the hardest attachment on that, because I couldn't stop. Every time I would go over something, I would find a different color. I mean, it's red, or I guess like an orangish red.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
yeah, and you know, it actually makes sense because most safety type vehicles are like that.
Yeah.
And I guess that it was painted black, and we kept finding more green that would show up on the truck, which is the original color.
Getting cooler and cooler.
It does. It really does. I mean, the fact that it started how many times?
Oh, a bunch. I mean,
while you were trying to get here, I know. I mean, that made me love it right there.
Yep.
But it does really, it has this cool nostalgia to it, you know?
It does.
I know. So I have to stop now because I might drop the camera because my fingers are so cold. But I'm excited to get to work on it tomorrow morning. So today we are working on changing the grill. And hey Nova. And then hopefully we'll move on to the lights. And we're moving it back into the shop. Do you want to tell them what happened, Richard?
What happened?
To the water pump.
Oh yeah, the water pump went. It's still spinning, but the pulley shot, the bearing shot, and it's leaking. So we gotta get one of those.
But if you remember, when we did the Will It Run, it was seized. So
it was seized, so we're lucky we got
what we got.
Out of it that we did.
We are. So we're gonna take this off first.
Okay. That's
Oh yeah, you can still see the green up there too.
Oh yeah, that's in pretty good shape.
Yes.
Radiator's in good shape. Oh, look at this. This is broken right free. The stop piece. Okay, we got to figure out how this is attached now.
Yeah, so you took my advice and said, I told you life is too short to mess with those. And so you're going to cut them.
I think this will work.
You know,
access is limited.
It is. I mean, you could take the tire off if you wanted to. But
no,
seriously,
that's not the problem.
I wouldn't worry about messing up that grill because it's not savable.
Yeah, I know.
So, just be careful of the stuff that we do need.
Yeah.
That grill, have at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you tried the plasma cutter, but
it worked, but not great because as it cuts the bolt, it welds the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it's not really what I wanted. I was afraid of that. It's not what I wanted. So I'm just cutting the grill to get access to the bolts. The bolts heads are so rusted, you can't grab them. And there's no other way to do it. I've been struggling with this for an hour, so I'm just going to cut it.
Cut it, baby.
Yeah. Watch your eyes.
I'm going to work on the cab today. To start, I'm going to clean the last little remnants of the paint that I didn't get off the other day. And I'm going to try to remove some of the paint on the dash because I have an idea in my mind what I want to do inside of here. And I need to see if there's still chrome underneath there. So a couple of things. And there might be some chrome elsewhere that might have been painted. So I'm going to try to get that paint off without damaging it. Move on to the doors, get those sanded down. If I have time, I'm going to try to make a panel to cover this hole and one for over there. I haven't, like I said, some ideas going around in my head about what I want to do. Just see if I have enough time to do everything I'm hoping. So I'm going to let you in on what I've been working on. And look, I do have it. I think it's stainless, not chrome. Yeah, whatever. You guys knew what I meant. So I think I'm going to go with stripe on the top, stripe on the bottom. And yeah, I haven't gotten it all off yet. It's a job I'm working on. I started to sand down the panels here. And I'll tell you what, get a long look. That's Richard getting a call from the fire department because he's a volunteer firefighter. So get a good look, because I think this is the last time I'm going to let you see it until I'm done. So look who wanted to come hang out in the shop with us. She really did. She was on a fit. She wanted to come out here, so there she is. I had to tie her up so she couldn't get away because there's too many things for her to get into. Hey guys, real quickly, I want to tell you what I am doing. Richard is at the fire station, and so I'm sneaking and doing things. So what I'm doing is I'm running the sander all along this car. You can see the rust and paint, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not, by the way, I have on a mask, but I'm not sure if all of the green paint is actually the truck or what they added for the logo. It's just raised a little bit, and so I'm going through and I'm going to smooth this down, and well, it needs to be done, so I'm going to do it. And I feel like this, I would like this faded much more than it is. Richard thinks it's already faded enough. I do not, so we'll see. Back at it again today, and this is the current state. Yeah, if you think it looks a little scary, think how I feel. Because we were going to work today and tomorrow, and well, that's all we had planned. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know that we're going to be finished. So one of the illusions that I wanted to create was that the original green extended just a little bit past the fender. So one of the challenges that I faced was they had just put body filler in the most random places. And, you know, if you look down, there's not really a dent there. There's a tiny one here, but it had just peeled back and flaked. And so in order to create that illusion, there's a lot of work that went into not only trying to tap out some of the metal that had the dents, but to smooth it out.
Time got away from us. So Christina and I found ourselves having to paint the interior of the truck at 10 p.m. But even though it was late, we were satisfied with the results. So I've got the grill prepped. What Christina's going to do is we're going to hit it with black rust encapsulating paint. Then she's going to go over it with green and then rough up the green to look more weathered to match the rest of the truck. So right now this grill being primer gray just doesn't match. So I'm going to get to it. Let's see how this comes out. Oh, by the way, it's a little cold today. Probably shouldn't be painting in this cold. It's probably low 50s, but time marches on, so we'll have to do it. As you can imagine with these old headlights, there's broken parts all over. So we've got this mounting screw here. It fits into a piece of plastic, and you need two of them. One here and one here. And this one was completely broken out. So what I did was, I have a 1980 Ford F-150 parts vehicle. I took one off that and ground down the edges, and it's got a clip right in here, and that clip fits in the slot perfectly and holds it in. It's super tight. So that might work. I'm gonna give it a try. That might work perfectly for this.
State of affairs. The paint that I wanted for the truck is moving close. Seat that we came up with the master plan for, well, you can hear what's going on in the background. And yeah, it's getting ready to storm, really storm, in about an hour. Oh, I see a rainbow. In about an hour and a half, so time to wasting. I don't care what they say, that is not the blue-green I was going for. So now I'm going to spray paint this fine Corinthian leather with this. I used it on Lula. She was fabric, and well, she turned out great. It's been going on 2 years. This one, some stains on it. I have scrubbed and scrubbed. They're not coming off. So well, it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Let's go. Okay, so you want to get some orange colored powder. You might have to make it. Put the green on here. And you ready? I've got a whole bunch over here, and I'm just gonna pat it in that green. That actually turned out way better than I ever imagined. And of course, we're gonna put a top coat of sorts on here to help seal that in, but that's pretty crazy, isn't it? I like it. I know some of you hate patina, some of you love it. Anyway, this is a pretty cool way to do it. Again, some paint just in a random spot. Pull some of that powder in, not too much. And there you go. It's actually pretty cool. Any excess I have. Oh, it's starting to rain. Seriously? Well, that's okay to add to the patina look.
So one of the things we have to do to this is protect all this work that Christine has put into it. We're going to store this outside. We can't leave it like this. It'll get destroyed very, very quickly. It's pouring rain out there right now, and it'll rust almost on a weekly basis. So what we've done, we've used a little bit of Penetrol flood here. If you're not familiar with that, check out our video of the 54 Chevy on More What the Rust. We do the whole vehicle with that.
We did Lula with it too.
Yeah, right, Lula too. Now, we're using a very, very light coat because we don't want gloss out of this. And it's starting to dry, and you can see it's got a little bit of a sheen. This honestly is more sheen than we want, but it will dry somewhat out. It won't go away completely, but we're using it so sparingly that it's not going to gloss like Penetrol usually would. But you can see the difference between not done and done. Mm-hmm. But we got to do it. I know people are going to complain about patina and all, but we have to do it because this is going to sit outside. Mm-hmm. And this is the cheapest, best protected. We could spend, what, $60?
120
on poppies or something?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. This is just, this might even be better, but it's just as good, and the shine will come out of it with time because we're putting it on so sparingly. If you put this on normally, it's a really nice shine for patina.
Yeah, and you can put it on more than once if you want a shinier.
You know, the 54 Chevy video, I put it on twice, and the shine's fantastic. It really looks great. And that car is right outside there, and it's been there for months, and the rust has stopped.
Yeah, that's the thing. It stops rust. And then one thing that I've seen people comment is that they heard that it turns yellow.
I haven't seen that.
It's been on Lula for almost 2 years. And we haven't seen that. But you know, honestly, with something like this, if it did turn a little yellow, would we notice it? No. Probably not.
We really wouldn't.
And then some people said, yeah, but you got to reapply that. You got to reapply the other ones as well.
Yeah, you don't have to reapply this. This
Is it
stuff is like rock hard.
After a couple years, though, you might have to.
Well, we don't know that. We'll find out, I guess.
But they say you have to reapply it. And I'm like, the stuff that costs $120, it's the same thing. You have to reapply that after a year or two.
It surprises me because it's like paint, but maybe. All right, I'm about to jump in to finish the inside. I'd like to show it to you, but Christina says, nope, top secret.
Not until the end. Okay, I know I said that you guys were going to have to wait till the end, but it turned out so good that I can't resist. Oh my gosh.
Look at that, huh?
Oh, okay, take the rest off. I can't wait.
There's quite a bit to take off still.
It just looks so amazing in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Okay, let's get the other eye. Huh. Look at that. I love it.
It looks good.
It looks fantastic.
Guess we can undo the windows now.
Yeah. It's 8:30. We just got the grill in. And I'm not going to lie, we are so tired. And this rain is not helping. So I think we might turn in for the night. We have a few more things to do tomorrow. I think we're going to be done for now.
The transformation that this truck has been through already is pretty cool. We're not done. But wow. Is it looking better?
Guys, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the door panels for the truck. So I noticed that this has a curve right here from the door, whereas let me scoot over here. This side is a little bit more flat, but this side definitely has that curve. So I'm going to try to make a template for this curve. Oops, sorry about that. So I put some tape here and made sure that it's really nice and tight inside of this. So I'm going to just take this marker here and I'm going to trace right along this curve, and then I'm going to peel the tape off and we'll go from there. So here's what I have. I took the black marker, went around the edge, put it on a piece of cardboard to make the template. So I'm going to go inside where I have a table and my glasses and attempt to cut this out. All right, here you go, guys. I measured the actual size of the door panel on the vehicle to be 31.5 by 10.5. So when I came in, of course, I already had my template for that edge, put it down on here and cut this to 31.5 by 10.5. Now, I will tell you that when I made door panels for Lula, I did not account for something in this measurement that messed me up, and the door panels didn't fit the first time I put them on. And I'm going to share what that was with you coming up. But first, real quick, someone had asked me if I would share my hubcap collection with you guys. So there you go. I will tell you, this is not all of the hubcaps. I have some down here that I need to clean and get up, and I have 5 or 6 in the shop that I need to bring in and do the same. So I collect dog dish hubcaps, and I try to get ones that I do not have, and it's a lot of fun. I like it, and you can tell the wall is almost full. So for those that asked, there you go. So I have cut 2 sheets of white vinyl. Believe it or not, this is vinyl left over from Lula's door panels, and I'm just pressing the wrinkles out of it. So you can see that I have the temperature on 220. It could probably be hotter, but I wasn't sure what the vinyl would do. So 220, 14 seconds. Parchment paper here to make sure nothing burns. And I've been doing each section twice. So I asked Richard to go ahead and paint this for me. So what I'm doing is I'm painting the white vinyl that was left over from the door panels I did for Lula, and I'm painting them black. Believe it or not, I actually painted Lula's door panels as well, because the red we used to paint her dash, the vinyl that I had selected didn't match, so I actually sprayed that vinyl with the red paint we used to paint the dash, and it worked out well. So fingers crossed that this works as well. So the paint that we're using is in fact the same paint that we used to paint the dash. Okay, you know the old saying, measure twice, cut once, and this is why, because do you see that little mark I made? I missed it and didn't cut. So here's the door panel. Now I know where we're going to need to make space for the door handles, and as long as these 2 doors are the same size, I can just flip this over and use it to make the one for over there. We might not get that one over there because we cannot get the door handle off. So we'll see what happens. Now, I told you that I was going to tell you where I made a mistake on Lula. So I made sure that my pattern fit great, except I didn't think about it when I put the vinyl on here and I fold it over and I attach it to the back of what I'm going to be using for my door panel. Remember, this is just my pattern. That I was going to have extra space where that vinyl folded over. It was going to, maybe have like 1/8 of an inch extra right here, and 1/8 of an inch here, and 1/8 of an inch here. And so I now cut these just a tiny bit smaller to allow for that. Let me show you one finished door panel, and I promise in the next episode of this track I will go into more detail of how I did it. There you go, finished product. And actually the paint that I used to paint, for example, the door, the dash, pretty much the inside of the truck, I used that paint, if you remember, to paint the vinyl, and it appears to have stuck very well, covered the vinyl well, and no complaints whatsoever. So this is the one that I had measured. I did not cut it anymore other than that little bit at the edge where I had missed my own mark. And yeah, so I went in and this is it. Done and on. And I will tell you, a trick of mine is I put these on with, attach them. You're supposed to have screws, whether you screw it there, screw it there. I think that kind of interferes with the look. I use Velcro. That's what's on here right now is Velcro, and that way when we need to take things off to replace the broken windows, I don't have to worry about unscrewing all the screws, taking the panel back off, maybe messing it up because the screws didn't go in or out right, and plus I don't have those, I think they're kind of eyesores, so I have started to use Velcro. Now let me show you this paint. This is the paint. It's Polar Metal Direct to Rust, and it has all these great things, which I didn't put my glasses on to read, but you know, it stops corrosion, you can apply directly to rust, quick dry time, and has a great finish. I really loved the sprayer nozzle. It's wide, it's just comfortable. There was no spatter. We went all the way with these to the end of the can. It was amazing. We got almost every drop out of there. No worries, no splatter, no spatter, no nothing. It was just a great. It goes on very thin mist. It's not too thick, and this is a matte finish, which I really like the matte finish. And not only that, these were four for $29.99. If you're an Amazon person, that means free delivery. Came with prom, and yeah, we love it. Highly recommend it. And hey, give it a try. You never know. You might end up loving it too. If you do, you're gonna have to let me know. All right, so let's take a look at some of the things that Richard did while I was working on the door panels.
Okay, another project done. Battery box floor. Very simple. I had just the piece to fit right in there, and that's not going anywhere. This looks awesome.
Thank you.
You want me to put the handles on like the jewelry?
No, not yet. I'm not sure that the vinyl is completely dry, so
okay.
We'll have to do that later.
Okay.
Do you want to show them some of the things that you did while I was working on that?
Definitely. It's been a busy day. Let's see. Well,
It's somewhat on.
yeah. That's somewhat on.
It looks good.
It looks good, but I'm going to need to do a better job of getting that on. The other headlight's in. The fender is still quite smashed, so this isn't perfect. We have to make a decision what we're going to do with this fender. As you can see, it's quite bad, but at least it's in. I mean, look at the front of that. It looks so much better than it did.
Yeah, well, if you noticed, it stopped raining. It may only last for 10 minutes, so do you want to take it outside?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, so you know what I said about the sun? We don't have long. So let's see what we have. All right. So we got a lot done. We got a lot done. We didn't get everything done.
We did not, but we really worked hard on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the interior is looking great. We've got a seat in it. Dash is painted. Door panels are painted.
Yeah, we still have some work to do. Definitely the floors need to be done. I'm not sure if we should leave that heater in there or not. Of course, we need to do some work underneath there. New windows. Need to start hunting around in junkyards see if we can find anything. The paint, although I mentioned it was not the color that we thought, so now it looks kind of camo-ish to me. And I was going to work on it, but it wouldn't stop raining.
Yeah.
It just kept raining and raining and raining. So that'll have to be next time. And we originally said that we thought the inside of here, we wanted to get that black. Of course, rain got in the way. But we kind of like the distressed look of that old part. Mm-hmm. Because you and I both agreed we're not going to make this perfect.
No.
It doesn't need to be
all.
perfect.
It's too far gone to be perfect in my opinion.
It was a tow truck. It was the truck that got a lot of people out of a lot of jams. And, you know, be perfect. It's not going to be a show car. And I think that it deserves to have some bumps and dents, and I'm not going to change that.
I agree.
So there is another tire back here that you need to...
Yep.
That's the last one you need to get changed.
Yep. So it's going to have roadworthy tires.
Mm-hmm.
And to get it roadworthy, we need to do the brakes, change that tire, wire it up, which is not hard to do. And I think that's it. You know, to take it short distances and such. Then we have to fix the exhaust, but again, that's easy. Mm-hmm. So it's going to go from road sign to roadworthy pretty quickly.
Yeah, road sign meaning that he had to part of his life dressed up like a Pixar Disney character from a movie. And yeah, so we are no longer calling him Tow Mater. His new name is Earl. He is Earl the tow truck. Don't ask me why. But he is no longer, like you said, the road sign or for the restaurant or Pixar Disney character. This is Earl the tow truck. And if you guys have missed it, this is Rustlin. She was the senior dog that we found in the road in Alabama and rescued. She has a heart condition. So
She's deaf.
she can hear, which I mentioned earlier, and she's a sweetheart.
Yes.
She seems to love hanging out in the shop.
Yep. Yeah,
It's almost like she was meant for it.
She's a good one.
She is. When we get inside finished, it's going to look sharp in there.
Oh, yeah. And
It
we're
already-
close.
It already looks sharp.
We're close. Next video, this thing will be finished.
Yeah, so it's going to look a little tattered on the outside, and it's going to look so suave and posh on the inside.
As posh as a tow truck can be.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for watching. This thing is fun, and we have another part coming up soon that you're really going to like. If you haven't heard from us already, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And certainly a Happy New Year.
Yes. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all of you, and we'll talk to you in the comments.